You'd think the scariest thing in the ocean has teeth, or tentacles, or at least a pulse. It doesn't. Some of the deadliest things down there aren't animals at all. They don't hunt, they don't chase, they don't even know you exist. And that might be exactly why they're worse. Today we're going through 4 of them, starting with something that reaches down through solid ice like a finger, and ending with something that's been silently taking over the ocean floor for decades and is only getting bigger. Antarctica. Under the sea ice in water so cold it should be frozen solid. Except it's not because it's so salty. The freezing point drops way below normal. Every winter, as new ice forms up top, it pushes out salt. That salt doesn't just disappear, it sinks in a thin, super cold, super salty stream straight down toward the ocean floor. Scientists call it brine. This brine is colder than the water around it, cold enough that the second it touches normal seawater, it flash freezes everything in a thin sheath around itself. Not from the outside in, from the inside out. It forms a hollow tube of ice called a brinicle, and it grows downward, fast. It can reach the seafloor dozens of feet down in under 6 hours, and when it gets there, it doesn't stop. The brine spreads out across the bottom like poison fog. Starfish, sea urchins, anything too slow to get away gets encased, frozen solid in real time by something that isn't even trying to kill them. This happens every single year. Right now, somewhere under Antarctic ice, one of these might be forming. It's not a rare event. It's not a monster. It's just physics, doing something that looks exactly like one. But if you think freezing to death sounds bad, wait until you hear about the pool at the bottom of the Gulf of Mexico that does the opposite. Over 3,000 feet down in the Gulf of Mexico, there's something that looks, from a distance, almost inviting. A perfectly still, glassy pool, sitting on the ocean floor like a lake that doesn't belong there. Divers actually nicknamed it the Jacuzzi of Despair. Here's why. This lake is a pocket of water so dense with salt and methane that it simply refuses to mix with the ocean around it. It sits in its own depression, with its own shoreline, its own ripples, an entire lake, underwater, inside another body of water. It looks calm. It looks safe. It is neither. The water in that pool is toxic, packed with methane and hydrogen sulfide, with almost no oxygen at all. Any crab or fish that wanders in, looking for an easy meal along its shore, doesn't come back out. There's actual footage of eels and crabs drifting into the edge of the pool and dying within moments, their bodies left perfectly preserved along the rim like a graveyard with a shoreline. No predator did this. No creature hunted them, they just swam into the wrong lake. A hidden lake that kills anything that touches it is bad enough when it's the size of a swimming pool. Now imagine the same idea, but the size of New Jersey. Every summer in the Gulf of Mexico, something invisible spreads across thousands of square miles of ocean. No teeth, no sting, no color even, just an absence. It's called a dead zone, an area where the water has almost no oxygen left in it at all, and it's man-made. Fertilizer runoff from farms travels down the Mississippi River and dumps massive amounts of nutrients into the Gulf. Algae feasts on it and explodes in population. Then the algae dies, sinks and decomposes, and decomposition eats oxygen, enormous amounts of it. The result is a stretch of ocean where fish, crabs, and shrimp can't breathe. The fast swimmers flee. The slow ones, the ones stuck to the bottom, the ones that can't outrun an invisible enemy, simply suffocate where they are. Some years, this dead zone has grown larger than the state of New Jersey. It happens every year. It's getting bigger, and you'll never see it coming because there's nothing to see. Just water that quietly stopped being able to support life. An invisible zone that kills by taking something away is unsettling, but the last one on this list doesn't take anything away. It adds something, and that might be the scariest one yet. Along coastlines around the world, the ocean sometimes turns a deep, rusty red. It looks almost beautiful from far away. It's called a red tide, and it's one of the only ocean phenomena that can kill you without you ever touching the water. Red tide is caused by a bloom of algae that produces a powerful neurotoxin. When waves crash and that toxin becomes airborne in the sea spray, people on the beach, not even in the water, start coughing, their eyes burning, their throats tightening just from breathing near the shore. In the water itself, it's far worse. Fish die by the thousands, washing up along beaches for miles. Sea turtles and marine mammals can be poisoned just by breathing at the surface near a bloom. And unlike a shark or a jellyfish, this doesn't ambush one victim. A single red tide event can kill fish, birds, and marine mammals across dozens of miles of coastline all at once for weeks at a time, and there's genuinely nothing in the water for any of them to see coming or fight back against. An ice finger that grows towards you in hours, a lake at the bottom of the ocean that looks like safety and is the opposite, an invisible zone the size of a state where nothing can breathe, a red tide that can poison you without you ever getting wet. None of these are predators. None of them are even alive, in the way we usually mean that word. They don't hunt, they don't choose, they don't stop. And that's really the point. The ocean doesn't need a monster with teeth to be the most dangerous place on Earth. Sometimes physics and chemistry do a far better job than any predator ever could. So next time someone asks what the scariest thing in the ocean is, you've got 4 answers, and not one of them has a face. If you want to see what happens when the ocean does put a face on it, the next video might be worse.